Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to look at some modern catalogs. You can see we've got these two here that we've done in the past. You can watch these on our channel. We've done the 1992 and the 1994 Sears Wish Book and the JCPenney Christmas catalog. We also did a wish book from the 80s. That's from wishbook.com. But just to show like the difference of what a modern catalog is, you can see here's Amazon's, and they're generally smaller, and it's not like all encompassing. I mean, these things were super thick. They had hundreds. I mean, we've got 800 pages in here. So these are fun to look through. We've got videos of those. If anyone wants to see those, you can watch them. But these are kind of the stuff you get now in the mail.
Yep.
We get specialty ones, stuff like Nobel collection stuff. And it's just not what it used to be. I mean, you can see how thick the ones that come from Walmart are. The last time I remember getting one that had any substance is we had ordered a few catalogs when our daughter was younger, and we got some from Toys R Us, which is gone. I just was asking why we didn't get a Toys R Us, and I'm forgetting that they've been gone for years. And we got one from Kmart, which also is gone.
Yeah.
So I wish I would have kept those because they were like pretty much the last year or two that they put out any catalogs like that. So, but these two are pretty much identical. This one's a little thicker, so we'll flip through the Lego one real quick. Legos are just so much more popular than they were back when we were kids. I mean, not like kids didn't like Legos, but
when we were kids, it was the bucket of Legos where you just used your imagination and built,
Right.
more than it was sets that had instructions to help you come up with whatever specific item it is.
Right. And I mean, it's good for educational purposes for kids to follow instructions and have to work through that.
Yeah,
but
this one had all the Christmassy stuff at the beginning, and then it gets into the different series that they have.
yeah, I mean, we're just going to flip through quick so people can kind of see, what's in these.
There were some new Disney things because of the 100th anniversary.
It's hard to even tell if Legos are Legos anymore sometimes because they've got so many parts that aren't just their specialty parts. I mean, they do use, what? At least 95% are normal parts, I think, right?
Yeah, I would say that there's a very high percentage, because when you're building even the set, they just reuse something and put a sticker over it, or a particular color to make it function as whatever
Right.
specialty item as often as they can.
I mean, at least it's something that kids can see and circle. But I mean, again, you don't want your kids circling. I'm sure kids did this in the past with expensive stuff, but I mean, some of these Lego sets are pushing $400. And I'm not saying that some of them aren't worth it, but I mean, this one, $400 for the Batman one, it's kind of cool, but it's very bland when you think about it. But someone that's a Lego and a Batman fan,
right,
might like it. I mean, they've got all these things now where you can build characters and stuff. I mean, Lego characters are just no longer Lego characters. I mean, these that's not Lego.
Yeah,
they just have a little spot on them that lets you put Lego characters on. So this has evolved, and I mean, I don't blame them. We got the Sonic sets. There's probably the Mario, Nintendo ones, which are very popular.
Yeah, they've gotten quite a few licenses over the year to keep expanding into not just
what's the other
fan-based
brand
market
of Legos? That that off brand, because Nintendo used to be with them.
Mega Bloks.
Mega Bloks, yeah. But yeah, they keep expanding, and anyone that's willing to do licensing with them. I mean, Lego pretty much does come out with the best stuff, and they really.
Well, it's not in this particular catalog, but they've done the TV shows, the Simpsons, the Friends ones, the Office.
You have the Friends one.
Yeah.
We have so many we don't get to build them in time.
Right.
But you've got the Friends one. I've done the two Simpsons ones. I've got the Nintendo NES. I still haven't built it, because it takes a long time, and then you have to have the place to store it.
That's the issue we have right now, is that I've bought so many of the Harry Potter ones, we don't have storage space to.
My whole thought right away is, if we didn't unbox it, and for some reason we needed to sell it, in like
retain its
7,
value.
10 years, they don't just retain their value. Once they're off the market, they are more valuable to people, to collectors. And here's another thing we get is the Nobel collection stuff, because you've got a few things from here. So they send
Yeah.
these every year.
Another reason I don't have shelf space.
Right. These are pretty much identical, though.
They are on the inside. The covers were just different.
But I just thought it was, it's funny. They'll send us the same thing
But
a
again,
couple of times.
New licensing, right? So they've gone after.
Oh, yeah. Like
new.
this, at first, it was just pretty much maybe Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and what else? Not much else.
No, not much when we first started, shopping from them.
But now, I mean, Minecraft. Look at this Avatar stuff. I mean, they're starting to get into plush stuff. Like,
yeah.
they never had this before. Isn't this the first year we've seen?
They've always had some of the Harry Potter plush stuff.
Oh, like a Dobby or something.
No, more the animals. But this is the first year where I've seen it expand into. I mean, like an ET plush. I would have never thought I'd seen that in the Nobel collection. I would have thought more of a figurine that's made out of ceramic or metal of some sort.
But so again, going after more licensing with Spielberg and everything.
Yeah. Universal properties.
Well, that could be it. Is that Spielberg part of the Universal? I think a lot of his films are Universal, right?
Like this year, they added those Patronus plushes. I hadn't seen that before, so I think it's as the Wizarding worlds expand and come up with new things, then they continue to. But
it's all really nice stuff.
It is. It's all very well done.
Some of it's
super pricey.
Overpriced.
Some of it's moderately priced.
This was nice when they started doing the wands more because you could only get some of them at Universal.
Yeah.
And when we went down there years ago, we got a few, but now some of them are probably even available just to order.
Well, and of course, it started with the Harry Potter franchise, and they go to the Fantastic Beasts ones.
Right.
So that allowed them to continue to drive. And now you've got the new game.
Oh, these are like those. Is that for those bracelets?
Charm bracelet, yeah.
Yeah, those bracelets are. I mean, I'm used to seeing the ones that were like just They were like a circle bracelet.
Yeah.
Where was that? They used to carry them at the paper store, right?
Yeah.
What brand was that?
Oh, I don't remember.
But everyone's jumped on that bandwagon because these things are adorable. What did they run?
They're expensive.
$30 each. Yeah.
That's why I don't have one.
Right. And you'd look
because there's too many charms that I'd want to get just to say that I had them.
Yeah, and you'd look for things on sale too, anyway.
Yes. I can be.
So this is all from the new.
Yeah, that's the stuff from the wands and the creatures. This was new the first time.
The Universal Monsters stuff. Yeah.
The Lord of the Rings stuff didn't look like it had much new to it this year.
No. Do we have what's the chess set you have is from Harry Potter, right?
That's the chess set I bought you.
Oh, it's for me?
Yes.
Okay.
I bought it for you. 17 years ago.
It's a long time. That's how long this is. Ago? I mean, that's how long they've been doing this now.
Yeah. Yeah. So this
is all
page,
new, right?
Everything on there was new, and that to me is what jumped out as the Universal properties that they, before it was just looked like ET, but all of these things are things that you find, characters you find at Universal Studios.
And they're just like bendy figures, and they're how much each? Somewhere it lists they're all $20. I mean, $20 for something like this, it's just too much.
But when you're an adult toy collector and a big fan of a particular thing,
a lot of kids grew up with SpongeBob, so those are a couple of specialty ones we get in. This is probably the first one we got of the season. Does this seem like this was the first one? I feel like Amazon was the first one to come in. I
think so.
And
but I don't think we'd ever gotten one from them before.
No.
So that was what was
it was surprising.
The most surprising.
And it's
a little booklet.
A little booklet. It's not thin, but it's not thick. But then again,
but it's interesting. Our daughter's almost 18, and for the first time ever, we get a little catalog from Amazon, and it's definitely geared towards toys for little kids.
Right. And I mean, that's something that kids just don't know anymore about being able to like look through something like this, circle something, and give you the chance to go out and buy that for them.
Yeah. We did that a little bit with her when she was younger. The few that we would get in, giving them to her to look at and see if there was anything interesting. Or we'd take a, shopping trip, and then once she picked out something, we'd divide up. One of us took off with her while the other one ran to the register and went in something in the car.
There's very little that we get from the stores directly, except for when you go out shopping for...
When I do the holiday donation families,
that
we do through work. I might find, one or two things at the store while I'm there, but
Sometimes if there's very specific things that they request,
yeah,
we'll have to find online or something.
yeah. This year there were a couple of toy lines that one of them I knew existed because I'd seen it when I thumbed through this Amazon catalog, the Blippy
They
stuff.
actually give you stickers.
Yeah, there were a few stickers in there, and at the back there's a couple of coloring pages.
Oh,
So again, just reaffirming that it's designed for children.
yeah.
And younger children for the most part. I mean, other than the Legos and a few other board game type things, most stuff is all I'd say 10, 11 or under.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the only thing that can get me out to the stores these days is when you have to buy for families that could use some assistance. Because other than that, I mean, I
Oh, I hadn't noticed that.
What?
It was black and
Back
white
here?
Toy Story characters from the second.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
from the old
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
Yep, that's clever. That's such a simple thing. So that would have been from Toy Story 2.
Yeah, from the cartoon. Yeah, so
But I mean, this is a good kids catalog.
It is.
It's probably the best we've seen in a decade at
Yeah.
least, if not more.
Yeah, because it has a wide range of things.
And it's stuff that's attainable. I mean, I just heard of these things, right? No, they squish. Yeah.
No, those are Squishimals. But Squishimals did some extra licensing this year because they've got the new Harry Potter ones.
Yeah. I watched some. What was it? A video on the New York Toy
Fair. Or
Toy
whatever,
Fair. Yeah. Which I mean, there is hardly anything new. This was one of the new things, but I was like,
Tony's.
yeah. This was, you put them on and they tell a story. Now,
Oh.
because of the way memory is, you can store, it's not like the old records or stuff like that. You can store a whole story digitally. You set those on and it's a little speaker, which is cool, but there's nothing new. They're just building better mousetraps. I have not seen a new idea for a toy. And a lot of stuff just comes back. I think Furbies are coming back again this year. Yeah, sit and spin. I mean, just the classic. When a kid's young enough, they'll enjoy that still.
Yeah, Coco Melon's another one I saw on the
As long as you don't
wish list.
As long as you don't give a 1-year-old an iPad and then use that as a babysitter, and then they just become addicted to it for their life. VTech used to be big for kids' toys and stuff, little fake computers and things. But again, if I was a toddler or preschool, or what's first? Toddlers after preschool? I can't remember.
Toddlers before preschool.
Okay. And first, second grade, this is stuff that's great for kids.
I'd say most of this stuff you're not going well above third or fourth grade even.
Right.
For anything that's in here.
And it's really, we scroll through Amazon once in a while, just see what the deals are once in a while, and it's very bland feeling when you scroll through on the website. It doesn't have the same feeling as flipping through something like this. I didn't even get to the back of this where they had a few things. Oh, you're right. There's a little
coloring page.
They do half of it. Okay, so here's the Walmart one that came this year, and I don't even think I really flipped through this one. So what is this supposed to be? Your little maze to get the goodies. So maybe this is actually a good toy one too, but it's not as thick. But that doesn't mean they didn't pack more into it. So this is for young kids again.
Yeah, this one I think has a flow of like the younger kids up to the older kids instead of just by.
No, I hadn't thought about this, but is this stuff to target the grandparents that still, mostly will still go to stores? The 60 plus 70-year-olds now?
I don't know. Are you calling me old? I think
You're not
I think
60
they gave
plus?
it to me when I picked up a grocery order.
Oh, it was in one of
they
they didn't mail this to us.
No.
I see.
I think they just put it in the bag.
No, I'm not calling you old. I'm just saying that,
I think they understand that there is still a certain demographic that would like to do this, would like to sit down with their grandchild and look through something and find out what they want rather than getting it from the parents or trying to guess on their own.
But here's the other thing. I mean, Black Friday used to be a day.
It's today.
And then it became into Saturday a little bit.
Yeah, then it's the whole weekend because you go through to Cyber Monday.
And now it's like a 3-week
Oh no, Black Friday is a month and a half. It's those early deals started in the beginning of October.
Yeah, so I mean, here's the thing: you get a kid circling this, and you get someone going out thinking they're going to get this in the stores. That ain't going to happen. We've been to the stores a little bit, and you've seen nothing on the shelves.
It was. I mean, well, what I saw last time, I haven't been through Walmart physically in a long
Oh,
time.
right, Walmart's
But I
probably
was
stocked
in
pretty good.
I was in Target, and the electronics section was really bare in terms of video games.
Yeah. Because
The toy aisles had lots and lots of holes in them, and
which has been since the pandemic, pretty
right.
much.
So
They don't overstock anymore like they used to.
Yeah. So it really, I think it's going to depend on what it is you're trying to get,
Yeah.
whether or not, and the timing. I mean, if you're going to a physical store, it really is about lucking out with the timing.
Right. I mean, it used to be an event to go out to stores and make sure you get there to get what was in stock. But now it's.
And even though they supposedly have real-time inventory systems,
Yes.
if you look online and it says there's 2 in store, you can get to the store and not find it.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, that's because it's actually still sitting on a boat somewhere waiting for somebody to stock the
Right, to
shelves.
stock it. But you've even found out, like we just bought some games that were on a good deal. You ordered it, we ordered it online
to pick up in the
to
store.
pick up in store.
And then
they had
sent
2
me,
in stock.
They sent me the next morning a text saying they couldn't fulfill the order. What did I want to do? So I opted to have it shipped for free. It was going to take 2 days. And then I physically went to the store anyway to pick up something else that was part of a different order, and walked back to the section and found that it was sitting on the shelf.
And because the store didn't seem to have the same price
They
as
did
ordering
not.
online.
I had to wait. And so what was very interesting to me about Target this year,
Even though
a lot of their specials are you have to order it online and then go pick it up at the store.
Yeah.
You can't walk into the store, pick it up off the shelf, and pay the price that you saw
Right,
on the website.
which is weird. And even so, they might say, well, we're going to be lazy and we're just going to force it to say we don't have any in stock because they want to still have in stock in the store.
I would imagine it's whoever's picking the item going and looking. And if it's not sitting there, they're not spent because there's so many orders.
Right.
I mean, if you walk up to their customer service counter, it is flooded with orders. There's product everywhere. They're desperately trying to hire in our area. They've got signs up at the front door. They never seem to have enough staff on to get product out to the shelves or anything anymore.
Have we talked about before? I don't know if anyone young watching this knows what layaway is. I mean, layaway was huge when we were kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Parents would go in, they would get these things, like they'd get the whole, they shop for
Kmart,
80% of Christmas
Walmart,
stuff.
Ames, Bradley, Zayres, all those that existed back when
you would bring your cart to a desk or some area in the back of the store. Usually it felt like you're in the seedy parts of the store, where the bathrooms may have been back in the day.
Bring it all up, and you had to put a certain percentage down, and then you had to make payments over time.
Yeah.
But it was a way for parents to slowly pay for things for Christmas without putting it on a credit card and having to worry about any interest.
Well, even then, people didn't have credit cards as much.
Yeah.
Even in the late 70s and early 80s. Because, I mean, credit cards had pretty high interest rates back then.
Yes.
And I know people think they've got them now, but it was even worse. But the money was less.
And of course, back then, though, you were having to put it on layaway so far in advance that you weren't getting the discount pricing going out and buying it right off on Black Friday.
That's true.
Any of the specials, so that created its own unique challenge.
Right, but that was a sneakier way for your parents to get stuff way in advance, and not it's not quite even Christmas. And now I think some places would honor a sale where you could, if you had it, you could probably do an exchange once you got it if it was on sale. But there was a lot of back and forth back when everything used to just be like. I don't even know if barcodes were a big deal back then. I don't think everything had to have a barcode. Not that, games like stuff like this didn't have a barcode, but.
I think they used to offer an option where you could take something back off layaway. So if I had put 10 things on and I saw something go on sale, I could go say, take this off my layaway. And then I could actually just walk up and pay the sales price, buy it in the moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then if you didn't pay on it and pick it up on time.
But the storage that must have taken up, because everything's so streamlined now. I mean, a lot of product is just always out on the floor because they have computers now that have such fancy tracking for on-hand.
Just-in-time inventory.
That's what it's called. Which means there's shortages a lot because if someone doesn't ring something up right, if something gets stolen, it's not caught.
Yep.
But that's because they don't want inventory in the store. They don't want stuff left over. Anything left over is a loss. They do
Well,
not want to clearance stuff anymore, I don't
and
think.
we are not in an area where, you know, Target's locking everything up or anything
Yeah,
like
we're
that
fortunate.
yet.
We don't have glass
Fortunately.
cases on.
I mean, other than the electronics department, which,
It's
you know,
been
they've
forever.
always had the games that locked up like
Yeah.
that anyway.
And way in the past, the games might not have been locked up, but you had a special counter. I remember Zare back in the day when I was a little kid. You go into Zare, you go to the way back far right-hand corner. Zare turned into Ames around here. And you go to the far back right-hand corner of the store, and it was a, I don't know what you'd call it. It was like a display case, like for jewelry, though, that they stood behind, but behind the wall was filled with games and stuff.
Yeah. Well, just like
So they
Toys
were
R
always
Us had the pull
protected.
tag system, right? So you
Toys R Us,
pull
right.
the tag and you go up to the register and they'd go behind their counters and get the
And
game
you'd have
bring
that
you up
little
there.
bit of stress that they had a tag there, that there wasn't
that
something in
wasn't
stock.
there, yeah.
And you're like, do they really have it?
Yeah.
But they were always pretty good about it. But yeah, it's a shame Toys R Us is gone. But, you know, I mean, it's hard for them to compete when you've got, I think the Walmart here is probably the biggest toy section of anywhere in our area, right?
Probably, yeah. It's slightly bigger than Target, I would say.
Well, and like I said, Target just seems to be dwindling, getting thinner and thinner on what they've got.
Yeah. And some of that is just, you know, the last 3 years and everything that happened with the pandemic. It's shifting how people shop. More people got comfortable with shopping online.
Well, even people that weren't, yeah.
Right.
But we've been shopping online for a long time.
Right. But there was still always something every year. We made the trek to Portland to go to the Toys R Us down there and walk around and see what was what, even though we knew, you know, there were a limited number of things we'd actually buy while we were there.
Right. But it was like an event to go down to Portland because they had slightly different stores, but now a lot of those are gone.
Yeah.
And the trip to spend what? Just in gas and tolls for us to go to Portland, which is about an hour away.
$10 easy.
Minimum $10 just gone. And we started going and finding more and more. We're not really finding anything because they're not carrying specialized stuff as much or interesting stuff. So the trips are just long and wasted, and then you try and eat lunch up there and it's a fortune and the traffic's crazy. So but that's about it. You know, there are ways to still get these catalogs. I don't know how you get on a list.
What the most interesting thing this year is I didn't ask for anything from anybody. It just all came. You know, in years past we tried to place an order for catalogs, so just so we'd have something you know, to play with.
Right. So this was kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
And so maybe they're trying to get back to that a little bit. But again, catalogs I think are really great. It doesn't, maybe the shipping costs more for catalogs, but if they send these out, it gives people the option to just order online easier. If you see it, a lot of people aren't going to wait to go to the stores. They're just going to order online. And I think that's the good thing about catalogs is it puts a certain amount of stuff. I'm sure catalogs don't cost them anything. They are paid by these companies to put these toys in here.
Yeah.
So it's not like it costs them anything. I mean, in the old days, yeah. I mean, you take this, you can see $4.
Yep.
You know, they used to charge you. But if you had their credit card or something, it was free.
Yep.
You could pick it up, bring it up to the counter. But even $4 was really fun. Just for that cost, to have something to like look through and have just so much stuff.
I mean, just like you were saying, my grandparents would get the Sears catalog and then sit you down when you came to visit and be like, circle what you want.
Right. And I mean, my mother used to have so many of these and threw them all away. But of course, who thought there'd be so much nostalgia for looking through things like this? And I guess there's a hint of it left with these, but it just isn't quite the same. So, well, that's it. That's kind of what you can do for, you know, looking through catalogs and letting your younger kids maybe circle some stuff, or maybe even some older kids, because, you know, things are expensive.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks for watching. Again, we've got other ones on the site if you want to look them up. I'll probably put the links down below. Not a lot of people watch the JCPenney one, which is confusing because it's a super catalog. So it's out there. If you don't like us talking through it, just turn down the volume and look at the pages flip. So
there's a lot of interesting things from the 90s.
All right. So we hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and and we'll see you next time. So long.